Hi everyone, so today we're looking at using up scraps. So this is one card that I've made, rather pale colours, but you can see it's using all different scraps that I've got left with one piece on the back which is pulling it all together. Let's have a look at another one. This one here I've used 4 different patterns, and it was actually 10 centimetre square pieces of each that I've chopped up, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. So I've got a dark surround and a piece here that is rather like a denim fabric. So that forms the background, and let's have a look at this one, which I have to admit is my favourite. And this I found patchwork paper, and I've just cut it up into excuse me, various things. This is a 4x4 patch, 3x1, you've got 2x1, and you've got single squares as well. Okay, so let's have a look what we need. First of all, this is going to be my design that's going to go on the card, and it's a couple of bits of decoupage that I had left over. I don't often pile up decoupage. This was the main picture, and these were just incidentals that were left over on the sheet. So I'm going to use those up as it's a scrap card. I'm going to put those up there. I've selected somewhere, oh here we go, 4 pieces of different patterns that are all toned together, and just for ease of showing you, these are all 10 by 10. Okay, so one quick way of doing these is if you've got something like a paper pad. This particular one has got all sorts of blues in it, so something like that is good as a starting point, but use up all your scraps. So I've got 4 pieces 10 by 10, and at the moment I'm just going to clip those together with a little clip to hold them in one place, because we're going to do something magic. Right, the background I have cut to fit my C5 A5 card, and all I've done is reduce the sizes down slightly. So we're going to place that one on. This you can do, excuse the noise, it's the squirrels playing on my roof. Some of them have bigger feet than others. So let's stick that on, and that is going to be what we build our card on. There we go. Right, okay, let's look at these 4 pieces 10 by 10. I've got 3 that are paper and 1 is card. So I'm going to turn them over onto the back, and I'm going to use excuse me, use this. You can see 10 by 10. I am going to take my ruler, and it doesn't matter what size these come out. It's a brilliant way of using up scraps. So I'm drawing a line straight down, just using the width of the ruler, no measurements, which will give me a long thin strip. I'm going across the same width of the ruler, which will give me a shorter thin piece, and it's going to leave me a square. Okay, so while I've got my clip onto there, I'm just going to take my scissors. You can use a guillotine, paper trimmer, whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you've got to hand. So I can take my clip off, and I now have 4 squares. 1, 2, one must be stuck together somewhere. That one. So I've got 4 squares. I've got 4 long pieces. And I've got 4 small oblongs. So there we go. 2 of those are sticking together. Right, so there I have a huge selection of bits. Now there's much too much to go onto my card. When I made this one, these are all the pieces that I had left over from 4 10 by 10 pieces. Okay, so you can see you can make loads of cards, but literally any scraps you've got. Now you'll see that I've put a black around the outside. It's actually a very, very dark navy, but I do like to use something that makes it really stand out. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of my pieces here. I do like to use a wet glue on a lot of these pieces because I've got a little bit of slide I can do. Right, okay, so I need to leave a small gap all around. I'm going to choose two main squares. All we're doing at the moment is fitting them onto the bit so we can cut a mount. Let's move the main card for a moment. So I've used those 2 squares. I can put the other 2 squares aside for the moment. Right, I'm coming in with this one. So this is the smaller rectangle, and I'm going to fit it in there. Which one? That one I haven't used. So I'm now going to pop that up to there. Okay, so that's 2 rectangles. Now I want to choose 2 of these. This one has to go this way because of the way the water is going. If you've got directional papers, then please make sure that they're going in the right direction. Right, I do like this spotty one. So I'm going to use some more of that. And I've already got 2 of those. 2 spot. I'm going to use another one of this. Is that? So anything goes really. That's going to be quite tight to get too matte, so I'm going to leave that for the moment. And we might look at a different trick to use up our scraps. So you can do it with a knife, anything you wish. Crafting's all about using what you have to hand. It's not really who can afford the most expensive equipment and then leave it lying in the cupboard. The most important thing that you have in your crafting stash is your hands. Shopping round. Yeah, this one's quite tight, so I need to be careful. There. The border that we have will become very important. So I'm just throwing them to the side for the moment. And I'm keeping the bits that just drop off. We're going to try a little trick in a minute. Okay, even if you don't use them all on one particular card, they're already mounted up for the next one. Right, what I'm going to do now is I have these two bits here that would make enough for me to put this one on. So I am going to take double-sided tape this time because I don't want it to move, and I'm going to put a couple of strips across there. I want to just trim that straight. What I'm going to do is place this so it overhangs half of my piece here. I'll take my next one, put that up against it, and now when I trim round, nobody is going to know that there is a little join going across the back. Okay, so that doesn't look any different to any of our other pieces. Okay, so now we've got all our pieces assembled, and I've got them placed. If there's anything directional, I've got them placed in the way that I want them. This bit doesn't matter too much, it's a crinkly pattern. Now what I'm going to do first is to take my two large squares and I'm going to place one in the bottom corner, but you can see that I'm using this piece to add another mat around there. So I'm now going to take my second biggest piece and I'm going to go to the top corner, again leaving a bit of the backing showing. Now it really doesn't matter what else we do with these. So this one, I'm going to come onto there, I think. I'm going to go to the bottom corner. Right. What I'm looking at when I place these is I want a straight line coming down so I can see this backing piece. Right, I've got 2 of those, 1 of those. Now this one I'm leaving because I've already got 2 of those and I want this to be on the top probably. Right, next one. Is going into that corner, and I don't mind that it overlaps here, but I want to keep that border going all the way around there. Right, I'm now going to put this one coming down, emphasising that border, and this one we've got 3 more pieces that we could use. I think I'm going to come onto there. Just stagger them. Once you've established these outside pieces, you can do exactly what you like with the rest. I'm going to place that one going across. This is our piece that we pieced together. I've already established this bit, so I can bring that in, make sure it's straight, and this bit I think I'm going to go, I'll go down there. It's a case of playing around. There is no right and wrong. There we go. So I've used up my other pieces. I could do small pieces out of these, but I like to see some of the background coming through as well. Right, now we're going to look at the piece that I want to put some wording on or add my picture to. So, plain piece on there. I'm going to stick it down and I don't want it to move, so I'm going to place double-sided there, and I'm going into the middle because I'm going to do a trick with my scissors. I'm going to choose a pair of fancy scissors. There's a secret to fancy scissors, and we're going to have a look at what we do. I'm going to choose a piece of card that is a totally different colour, and I'm cutting my pattern of my scissors all the way along. Be careful how you line your scissors up, and I'm just going to chop that off. Okay, this has given me a ruler with my pattern scissors on there. So now I can place it onto here and I can slide it so that I know that I'm getting the same pattern there as here. I can place my scissors on, match the pattern and cut through. Now, if it's a rectangle, you need to turn it and do the same this way. So I've got almost a scallop here, almost a scallop there. So once you've done that, you can cut straight through, go straight past, and now I know that I'm looking for a scallop on this end. Once you've done 2 measurements, you can just cut, watching that you've got the same pattern here. Now, what I want to show you, if we bring in the black, I've now got 4 corners that are exactly the same. So you've matched your pattern, and it all comes from making a ruler. So if you make a ruler for every pair of scissors that you've got, then you can just slide it. Now, if I can bring in, I'll try and show you with a darker piece. If I look at my scissors, I've got scallops, dips, all sorts. So if I cut myself a piece that shows up my pattern, people don't use their scissors to their full ability. So if I match the scallops that are going out, bring in a white piece, I get this corner here. Now, if I match the scallop with one of the little notches, so the scallop with one of the little notches, I have that corner. If I match the scallops that are going in, I get this pointy corner. This is one pair of scissors, and it doesn't matter what pattern they are. Just find out what your scissors do. Right, now I'm looking at that one. So there is another corner, and if you use your ruler, you can get these corners on all of your pieces to match. Right, so there is another corner. Now I can get 27 different corners out of this one pair of scissors. Okay, on another video I'll show you with scallop scissors how to do rick-rack, the rolling rope. There are some beautiful things that you can do with just basic scissors. So this is a scallop, so you don't have to have a lot of expensive scissors. I generally work with the scallop scissors because I can do so much with them. Right. So I'm now going to place this. This is no measuring or anything. We're just working freehand. So I'm now going to take normal scissors, and I'm just going along the top of the scallops. Because I put the edge of the scissors onto this white piece, I know that these scallops are all the same distance away. So it now means that I've gone round using the scallops on the outside to cut that, and I now have another mat ready for my design. So I'm going to stick that one on. Play around with the pieces to see exactly where you want them before you commit to it. Now I think I'm going up there with this one. There we go. And I'm now going to add these a little bit stuck there. When you're looking at things like this, that is the only bit that needs to be upright. Now I've got this extra piece here which I could add, but actually I'm going to put it down in this bottom corner. I tend to leave a lot of my cards blank until I know what greeting I need to put on them. So there we have a lovely card made out of simple scraps, but using the colours to pick up the beautiful designs. So let's have a look at that one. Bring in this one. It's used a lot of the similar colours, but a turquoise effect on this one and blue on here. If you look at all the bits that I got left from, that was 8 pieces of 10 by 10 that we used. So that will make other cards. This one, I just used one design and picked up a plain colour that went with it. This one, again, one design which I cut up. No measuring on this one because I just used the edge of the pattern that I'd got cutting up the squares. So no measuring, no expensive equipment. This one I've just used a ruler. But you can use anything that you like. So have fun. Enjoy.